Okay, and the second question for Steven, if that's all right. Warren Gatland said that South Africa be incredibly desperate now. You've lost the first test, but isn't certain you can raise your game twice to beat the Lions. Is your pride dented? And what would you say to Warren's comments there?
Yeah, I think we had a hard look at the game, all the players and including the management, and we had our review this morning. So looking back at the game, I think the Lions did really well to take away some of South African strong points, and there's a lot of work on in the week that we'll try and iron out and fix. But South Africans as a country and as people know how to fight back and how to stand up stronger. So it's going to be a big week for us, and we know what's at stake. So it's going to be a lot of work that's been put into our set piece and our kicking game and just the way we approach this weekend's game.
Thanks, Sean. Steven, just for you, in the first half, as I said before, the Springboks certainly looked in control of the game, but in the second half, that was kind of taken away from you guys. From a forwards perspective, who was actually on the field for that second half, what do you think went wrong for you guys?
Yeah, I think first off, we were tactically and technically very good. Got our scrum going, got a couple of penalties. Second half, I'm not 100% sure what went wrong, but we couldn't get proper go forward in the scrum, and our lineup one line we had got badly disrupted, and the Lions put a lot of kicking pressure onto us. It's something we as individual players look at, take a lot of pride. Me personally, and I think France and Malcolm as well, take a lot of pride in the scrum. So it's something we want to go forward in, and we want to put the team on the front foot. And we know we got work ons this week and individual battles we need to face that will put the team in a greater position at the end of the day.
Thank you. Matthew Pierce from SuperSport. I know that you will take Dion later on for an Afrikaans response, but do you have a question to Steven?
Yeah, thanks, Ray. I'll also do an Afrikaans one for Steven, but at the back end. Kitsy, just the scrum performance in the second half. So if you could just reflect on two topics. One is the field, and we saw the field cutting up quite a bit, but the second half, both packs seemed absolutely rock solid, that nobody was getting a single centimetre. And the call of use it at the back of the scrum was pretty quick. Were you at any stages looking for a second surge at scrum time? If you could comment on the field, and then just also perhaps with the tongue firmly in the cheek, have you ever seen a scrum penalty conceded as it was in the first half for an opposition flanker scrumming in on a loose head? Thanks.
Yeah, Matt, I think the field does cut up a lot, and it is difficult to as soon as your feet are planted and there's some pressure coming, the field does give away and it becomes very slippery. So there's things that we work on in the way we want to scrum that prevents that slipping. Having all eight guys studs in the ground helps a lot, and then just commenting on a scrum penalty for position flank scrumming into our props. It is something that's missed, and I felt we definitely had to go forward on that scrum, putting the line scrum under a bit of pressure, but it's one of those calls that can go either way. And yeah, the scrums in the second half was rock solid. Early calls of use it where me, myself, and France felt like we had a bit of go forward or started feeding the cracks, and then the call comes from the ref to use it. I understand the ref he doesn't want resets, so it's part of the game, and we just have to find solutions to get that go forward a bit quicker if we want it.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll come back at the end.
Sure, we're going to move on swiftly. Two more questions in English, and then we move on to a very brief Afrikaans section at the end. Nick Heath, you're up again.
Thank you. Hi, Stephen. Just a chance really for a more broad reflection. What do you feel when you're getting together with the rest of the forwards this week? What's your focus on where you feel you need to turn things around ahead of this huge second test?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest work-ons is definitely around the line-out set piece. We sat this morning with Coach Dion, and we discussed some of the areas where I personally slipped up a couple of times, where I made big errors and that didn't help the team at all. So it's a big work-ons for us as a pack of forwards to get around that and come up with solutions quickly. And they always say 7 days in your lifetime is short, but in rugby terms, it's quite a long time. So there's a lot of time to fix the things that we can and take into control what we need to as a team, as a pack of forwards.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Gavin Rich, good day, sir.
How's it, Ray? I'm sorry, I haven't been on for a while, so I don't know how to use this thing. I just want to ask Stephen. Stephen, you were part of the Springbok World Cup winning squad. Well, this World Cup winning team, and in that campaign, you lost your first game, which is also a very important one against the All Blacks, and then you came back and you won the tournament. So my question to you is how different is it? I mean, how do you guys feel? Because we had face-to-face contact with you guys immediately after that game, and I could sort of sense a sort of steely determination. I'm talking about after the the All Black game in Yokohama in 2019, and I could almost feel then that you'll set it right. But we haven't had a chance to sort of see you this time because of COVID and everything. How similar or different is it this time compared to how you felt after that game in 2019? I'm talking about the All Black opening game, obviously.
Yeah, it's a similar feeling. Actually, if you think about it, losing with 5 points at the end of the day, and actually some things just didn't go our way, and we struggled in certain areas very badly. So I think there's still a good positive vibe in the team. There's really still a lot of energy, and I know the guys are, and me personally as well, is we're very disappointed in the result. But as South Africans, as a team, as a country, we know how to fight back. We know how to get ourselves up off the ground and start building towards the next one. Me personally, very excited for this challenge that's ahead. I know it's going to be 2 big games, and starting with this one on Saturday. I know the team's going to be excited, prepped, and frothing to play a great game of rugby.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Gavin. And the final question in English goes to Craig Ray.
Thanks, Ray. Stephen, just in a weird way, there's been a lot of talk about altitude and the test being switched to Cape Town, which takes away an advantage for the Springboks. But do you think in a weird way, because of your lack of sort of game time and preparation, that not going to altitude will actually be a benefit to the Springboks this time around as well?
Yeah, it's still thinking about going through our conditioning camp and building up to the games. We knew the 2 test matches at altitude is going to be tough for both teams, just due to the lack of conditioning and for them the lack of altitude experience. But playing Cape Town, it creates a quicker, faster game, which probably suits our outside backs, suits them, and it's just for entertaining rugby. It's I think conditioning-wise, there's a bit more oxygen, so breathing is a bit easier. But I think playing in Cape Town just creates that bit more energy in the game, and guys don't get flustered or run out of oxygen too quickly. So it's going to be entertaining for the full 80 minutes.